Welcome everybody. This is Roshan Gautam talking about why React Native. So yeah, I have been working with React Native for almost 3 years now. I mean, I was one of the early bird for React Native. I have seen a lot of stuff. I mean, there used to be a development cycle of release cycle of 1 week, and now it's 1 month. So yeah, so let me start. Why React Native? There is a chaos right now. React Native or Flutter. You might have heard it a lot. Why React Native? And comes the question, why React Native? Mm, I would say because why not? Why not React Native? I mean, you could have some answers to it. Why not? So let me. This okay. This talk is going to be very small and full of guff, not the technical, uh, not so much of technical stuff as of before talk. So why not? The first things I have to say is cross-platform. Of course, you can develop mobile apps, cross-platform mobile apps on Android and iOS and even Windows. Even Microsoft itself is managing uh, their own clone of React Native called React Windows, which they are using to build some awesome applications. Like even they are using it in Skype, and also there is rumor, and also they are using it on different office projects for mobile apps and JavaScript. Of course, it's a JavaScript. Who, where isn't the JavaScript? Who isn't using JavaScript? Everywhere you can find JavaScript, be it mobile, be it
Can you speak more louder?
okay, be it mobile, be it machine learning or AI stuff, be it web, every JavaScript is everywhere, and React itself is getting really popular. Every big companies around the world are using it. So the main advantages of React Native, using React Native to develop mobile apps would be JavaScript and React environment. And a web developer with experience in JavaScript can dive into the React Native and write awesome applications, native looking applications on themselves. They don't need to learn yet another programming language like Java or Swift or anything. So here comes the best part actually. This is coming. Community. Community, React Native community and React community is why I'm still with React Native for, I mean, 3 years. It's been 3 years. I've been involved with React Native. This is why I'm here. Community around React Native is so awesome. React Native is React Native is also maintained by Facebook, but actually these days communities are maintaining React Native more than Facebook. So when the React Native started, it was just for iOS, and the developers from Facebook had a lot of code. 80%, I mean, 100% of the code were from Facebook developers inside Facebook. But in the current status, almost 90%, I guess, 80 to 90% code are from outside Facebook. The community is building a lot of features for React Native itself, and these days, amazing uh, open source leaders from inside Facebook and outside the Facebook, the companies like Callstack and the one who built Expo. You might have heard Expo. If you have heard of React Native, you could have heard of Expo as well. Expo is a tool and that is um, built with the React Native and to build React Native applications with a lot of easiness. So a lot of people are involved in from community are involved in developing React Native features and all. Recently, there was a hackathon around React Native. The leaders from open source leaders for React Native were gathered together in Facebook office in London, and they worked together. They hacked together to develop amazing features that might be live very soon. And recently, talking about community, one of the guy from React Native engineering team, management team, React Native engineering management team, announced something. He wanted to have uh, the most the different tools, the different libraries inside React Native main repo. For example, wave view and async storage, and they wanted to take them out of the core repo so that it could be managed by community and uh, so that it could be more updated uh, and so that the beginners, the ones who have not contributed to open source yet could contribute on the small projects that are associated with React Native. And with the surprise that uh, within a week, I don't know, 10 or 20, 12 people take the lead of each project and were able to extract the code from, extract the features, extract the code, the asset storage and wave view from the core project. I mean, it was a very vibrant community, and it is a very vibrant community. That's why I'm here for more than 3 years. So let's move forward. Also, I'd like to say that in the beginning of React Native, it was not so much good. I mean, it was only available for iOS at first, and it was working fine for iOS, but it had a lot of problems with Android, problems regarding linking and all. It was, you know, the Android system itself, it's not so good as iOS build system. So there was a lot of problem. I mean, there were even animations were not so good, but eventually things are improving, and animation we can get 60 FPS animation in mobile in the mobile app developed with React Native and JavaScript. Things are improving a lot. It's getting snappier and snappier with time. There is a new project. There is a new project idea in React Native right now. It's about making the uh, making the synchronous behavior act like synchronous for React Native. For example, uh, right now, in the internal structure of the React Native, one has to encode all the requests from JavaScript side and make it a bundle, make it like just an encode it and send it through a bridge to native site, and bridge has to return something so that JavaScript site could render it. At least it works like this as of now, and it was nice experience. Like we could do a lot of asynchronous stuff, and but it created a lot of problem as well. Problem as in when we were rendering a long list in a list view, or even in the flat list, we could see some kind of blank stuff, blank spaces while scrolling it fast. But with the new implementation, which is called React Fabric, I guess they are re-implementing the whole structure of the React Native. So uh, there won't be any concept of breezing as it is now. So you don't have to uh, allocate bundle up the JS request and send it to native side and again get back the bundle and so with that, with Fabric, it's going to be even snappier. I mean, I have experienced something about the um, something about the React Native Fabric. It's cooler, and we are going to the end of the presentation.
Okay, so there is one question. So please explore more finding with an iOS dev experience with React Native.
Yeah, actually, I did. I talked with a lot of iOS developer as well. In one of my company I was working on, and actually I talked with two developers. One was iOS and one was Android developer. So iOS developer was kind of satisfied actually. I mean, a lot of features were stable for iOS, but in for Android developer, it wasn't the case. Um, there were a lot of problems with native linking, and so many of them were automatically linked in iOS, but you had to do manual linking for um, Android development. So yeah, that's what I have done some exploration, but maybe I haven't done enough to tell about this. But in my experience, I have found that it has been a nice experience for iOS developers, but not so nice experience for Android developers.
Okay.
So yeah, any more questions? So after this session, we have getting started
Yeah. So
session as well. So
yeah, so I do have a question that means which is better, or native language, programming language is better, or React Native is better? Just like there is a Kotlin, yeah, and Slaughter, yeah, those are better, or React Native is better in comparison with them.
okay, so that actually depends. If you have a very much performance sensitive thing to do, you gotta use native native things like Kotlin and Java and Objective C or Swift. I mean, it makes your life so much easier because they have the native support, they have the support from the vendors itself, and uh, yeah, and also if you have resources in your company, like in your team, you have uh, native developers, so surely go for it. But if your team is small and you have couple of web developers to do stuff, and you want nice looking app um, for your project, so you can go with React Native because you can reuse the uh, technological stack of the existing developers, um, and build almost native mobile apps. Talking about Flutter, Flutter is also a cross-platform technology. I mean, it's getting a lot of chaos right now. So many people are following Flutter these days. Flutter is amazing technology as well. So you can use either Flutter or React Native. But again, React Native is JavaScript, so you can reuse your resources, reuse the resources of your employees or even yourself to develop native apps. And yeah, React Native is improving, so I would suggest you try React Native for a while. No. Any more questions?
Okay, so the question is from my side. Just like in Angular there is a version wise. Just like there is a Angular 2, Angular 4, Angular 7. Now after 2 months, Angular 8 will release. Just like in the React, there is a versioning in the React. I'm talking about the web.
Uh, Actually, React is a lot good in that respect. I mean, if the new version of React is developed, they care so much about the backward compatibility. I mean, currently in I don't know React 16.3 or something they released. I mean React 15 they changed a lot of code for asynchronous propose, but we were even able to do the coding in the very legacy way as well. So there are versions, not like Angular kind of version,
Okay.
but Uh, they care about the backward compatibility a lot, and they make the release cycle very compatible, backward compatible.
Okay.
So there are versions like currently I think it's 16.8, so not as like the pattern we know in Angular.
Yeah, and for project operation, suppose if there is a new version, so do you directly update those packages, or you'll see first whether that is working or not, like that?
If the stable version of the
Yeah.
React is up, I think I would try. I mean, you know, I'm kind of early adopter.
Oh,
I have been using React Native itself in production since the last 2 years, and I had a lot of problems. Yes, React Native still has a lot of problem, uh, but still, I would just update it. Not in the production app which are critical, but I'd love to try new features. Like recently, the React team has released an amazing thing that is going to, I think, that is going to replace classes in React. It's called React hooks. So I tried it. I mean, it was nice as well. So yeah, to answer your question, I would update it.
okay.
So any more questions on React Native?
So I think that we have not not so many question on React
Hmm.
Native. So we'll be starting our next presentation on getting started with React Native by Silu Shrestha.